Alright guys, I thought I'd shoot a little update on the axles. Here's the 14 bolt full float. I got the drums off. I had to beat them off with a sledgehammer and cut them with an angle grinder. I also fitted the disc brakes. Very, very easy to do. You just knock out the lug nut studs. Take the front rotors, put them on the back, press the studs back in. There you go, you got rear discs. All I'm going to need now is the brackets for the back so I can put calipers on. You can pick those up anywhere between $50 and $100 depending on what brand you get, things like that. Rough Stuff makes some, DIY 4X, Off-Road Design, Ballistic Fab, WFO Off-Road, Great Lakes 4x4 I think does them. Everybody makes them. Real popular nowadays. But so the 14 bolt's pretty much ready. I'm going to clean that thing up. Clean out the bearings, put new axle seals, or new bearing seals on it rather, and it should be ready to run pretty much. I'm going to have to weld new shock tabs on it as well. Over here we have the 10 bolt. I stripped this down. Really rusty. It's kind of a pain to take it all apart, but all the inside stuff, the bearings and things like that, were in good shape. The axle seals were pretty good as well. So what I plan to do is take the ring and pinion and carrier and put them in the other housing I have. I was going to reuse this one, but it's got a rusted vent tube. The housing itself is fairly rusty, and the pinion seal is leaking anyway. You can do those by retorquing the nut, but you really should replace the crush sleeve every time you take that off. And you know, I decided that if I'm going to build this, I'm going to just build it right, and I'll have to dick around with it later on. So that's the scoop with that. I'm going to pull the tie rod off of it, and this housing is going to get scrapped because I don't think anybody will really want it. They're so cheap, nobody really buys them anymore. There's the ring and pinion. It is a 373 gear ratio. It's pretty decent shape. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but overall not that bad. I'm pretty happy with it. The bearings are a little rusty, but again, I'll be replacing those. Each side had a metal washer. I'm guessing to adjust the load in the center chunk there. I haven't found any shims at all, so I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm probably going to have a shop put those in the other housing for me just because I don't know what I'm doing, because I've never done it before. It seems like it would be pretty easy to do, and I could get a couple of, like I forget what it's called, but the tool that measures backlash and things like that, and do it myself. It's probably not very difficult, but I don't have a press either. So I'm hoping that, you know, I can bring them a bare housing and give them those gears and supply them with the install kit and bearings and probably new axle seals as well. And hopefully they can set that up for me relatively cheaply. I would think probably under 200 bucks, I would hope. I mean, I did all the hard work in stripping it. All they have to do is install the gears. Fairly easy. But the scrap's loaded up, trailer's cut down, so that's kind of where we're at today. It's gotten pretty cold here lately, so I'm going to try to work on that stuff in the garage. I might bring my torpedo heater in and start rebuilding that as well, get that thing ready for winter. Another update. The leaf blower. It worked great, short-lived, but it worked good. The crankshaft snapped right in half, and it threw the blade and bent it all up, so I can no longer use this unit. I was looking for a fan, but apparently I can't find them. My advice to somebody that's doing a repower is buy something with the exact same shaft size. Don't skimp out and use a 3/4 shaft and an adapter. It didn't hold together. It didn't work. So I'm out with that. Looks like the bend's warmed up, so we can move it out. So take care, guys, and I'll have more updates on the 14 bolt and 10 bolt build for the 3/4 ton swap in my 77 K10, which is now going to be a K20. It has pretty much 1 ton everything else, so this is the last little bit. This 10 bolt is this exact identical to a 1 ton. The only difference is the spring perches are outboard of the frame, whereas the 1 tons are inboard. Of course, the 10 bolt is actually the exact same as the half-ton version. The only difference is that it has 8 lug hubs, bigger spindle bearings, but the spindles are identical, different backing plates, larger rotors, and the identical brake calipers. So, more on that as we get there. Talk to you guys later.